Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. So, I invite us to get ready to sit for today. And we start this by finding a comfortable position. There's no right or wrong position or posture to do this practice. The main position is whatever feels comfortable for you. We find that comfortable and easy position so that we actually can drop in a little bit more. So I invite you to find that comfortable position. It could be lying down today. It could be in a seated position. Maybe you need a bunch of pillows, and that's okay. So finding our comfortable position. Before we begin, I wanted to address something. Why do we do this? Why do we sit? Now I'm a physician. I could talk to you about all the neuroscience, about meditation and what it does. But for me, it's a little bit more practical. We sit because we practice. We practice how do we want to be in the world? How do we want to show up for others, and how do we want to show up for ourselves? We sit because this is time for ourselves to practice. And growing up, I was bullied for many reasons. But I was bullied. I remember a time one of the members of the football team tried to run me over with her truck. I just told this to someone, so it's in my memory. His girlfriend, the cheerleader, was a good friend of mine, and she stopped that. Back then, when I was 16, I tried to commit suicide because I fervently believed there weren't people like me, there was something wrong with me. And I share this because it speaks to why we sit. I believe something so deeply about myself. I was told by media, I was told by other people, I was told by the boys in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I wasn't a boy, I wasn't a man because I couldn't throw a football. These messages, and those were really blatant messages, but they become part of our psyche, and I believed it, and so I wanted to take my own life. I didn't think that it was worth anything. Now that part of my life I no longer question or doubt, but it doesn't mean the struggles aren't still there for me. Because this happened the other day with a friend of mine. I said, I still struggle with my worth. I still at times believe, have I done anything worthwhile with my life? Especially since I've dedicated my life as a physician. There are days after I'm done working with patients that I just think that I'm a failure. The very thing that many of them say to themselves. So why do we sit? I sit to help me recognize that I am not my thoughts. I'm not these narratives. I'm not this body. I can observe these things. And by this practice, it relinquishes some of that hold my hand has on these narratives, these stories. And some of these stories are perpetuated by media, even being on social media. We fall into that trap of enough. So I wanted to share this because several people have asked me, why do we sit? And then other people have said to me lately, like, well, you don't know what it's like. I do. I don't know your struggle, but I know my struggle. And it is a struggle. So that's why we sit. So let's do some practice. Find a comfortable position. Again, whatever is comfortable for you. Lying down, sitting, but one where you can be comfortable enough so that we can turn inward. Think of the bell as calling you to this moment. Taking a few, what I call falling out breaths. Take a breath in, hold it for just a second and release it with a sigh. Really reset our intention, our nervous system. 2 or 3 more like that. And you can keep your eyes open or your eyes closed, whatever feels comfortable and safe for you at this moment. And the first step on our process today is really to connect with yourself, with your heart, and ask, for what purpose are you showing up today? For what purpose do you find yourself joining the rest of us? Whether you're listening to this now, in real time, or later, and showing up and sitting here. What are your deepest, heartfelt wishes for doing this practice today? And then send yourself some appreciation for actually showing up. You're here. So one of my mantras that I recite to myself, sometimes daily, sometimes I'll forget it for a while. But what if everything I tell myself, about the world, isn't true? And that's part of what we're going to do today. Not to say that we're going to throw out everything we think and believe, but just start to unravel the hold some of our maybe negative, self-deprecating thoughts have. So to prime this experience, let's turn our attention to the body, what we have right here. And I'm going to very quickly go through a scan from the toes to the head. As I mention a body part, bring your attention fully there. Just note it. Notice what's appearing. Asking what is happening now, right there. That's it. We're just touching different parts of the body. So notice the toes. Notice the heels. And everything in between. The arches and the insteps. The soles of the feet. What's happening in the feet right now? What sensations are present? Notice we don't have to follow it. We just observe it. Note it. Move up to the calves and the shins. What are you feeling there? So note that we are observing the sensations in the body. Those sensations, the body is the object. We are observing it, creating some space, some distance. Notice the thighs and the hamstrings. And we're simply making mental notes. Pressure, tension, stretch, tickling. Notice the pelvis, the groins, the buttocks. Note what's present there. Just observing, noting, and notice how seductive it is. We feel a sensation and we just fall into it. How long is it going to be there? Oh, I don't like that. Ooh, that hurts. Oh, that's new. Just observe the pure sensation. Moving up now to the belly, the sides of the waist and the low back. This is the practice. We observe, we note, we notice how it changes. And were you aware of the belly when you were noticing the feet? Move up to the chest, the shoulders, shoulder blades, armpits. What's calling for attention here? Allow your awareness to scan from your shoulders down to your fingertips, larger areas, both sides. Observe the sensations. Recognize that we are taking this observer position. I'm just watching it. And noticing the neck, the throat and the jaw, the sensations of the head. Now scan out and notice your whole body. And you might find that certain areas of the body are calling for more attention. You might feel an ache, a pain. And when your mind goes there, that becomes your anchor. Just note that sensation in the body. But what would it be like to orient to it with curiosity? What is this sensation? to go into where did it come from, how long has it been there. Just notice, what is this? What's it feel like? Moment to moment. I invite you to bring your attention now to your heart. Personally, I like to focus on the physical sensations of the heart for a moment. The heart is beating. Sure, sometimes it speeds up when we don't want it to. Sometimes it pounds louder with more force. Sometimes it might skip a beat. Without judging it or labeling, can you feel your heart? And then let's give it thanks and gratitude and appreciation for its continual work. Notice what that shift does for you. The minute you just thank your heart for all its work, all its service. But our heart is more than just this physical beating. It's the seat of our love, our gratitude, our appreciation, our connection to ourselves and others. So if you want to, you can place a hand on your heart. You could put your hands over your heart or put them in prayer position, whatever feels comfortable for you at this moment. I invite you to imagine just breathing in and out through the heart. Just sending it that love and appreciation. And perhaps this is enough for you. Just stay here. And if you'd like to go a step further, I invite you to just feel the heart and ask yourself, what is your deepest, heartfelt wish for yourself? What do you truly, deeply wish for yourself that will bring about peace and ease? And listen to the message in the heart. It might not be surprising or new. Or maybe it catches you by surprise. And this message could come in words for some of you, sounds, a song lyric, an overall body sensation, an image. So it could be something, without trying to influence you, listen to what comes up for you. It could simply be the heartfelt wish to know, I am enough. I'm lovable. And that's a challenging one, because most of us often don't love ourselves. I'm enough, I'm lovable, I'm worthy. I matter. So I want you to connect with this. I want you to connect with this immediate, heartfelt wish. And just drop that in the center of your heart. But notice all the different thought bubbles that immediately pop up. Because if you're like me, tons of them pop up and we don't even notice them. They're the thought bubbles that say, yes, but, yeah, but, what about? So we don't want to deny them. We don't want to negate them or say they don't exist. So here's the practice for the next few moments. You could just breathe in and out through your heart. You can connect with this heartfelt wish you have for yourself. What do you need to believe and know and feel to find peace? And just recite that heartfelt wish to yourself. But then, if you notice any of these thought bubbles appearing, rising to the surface, just note them. If you're visually oriented, you might see them. If you're auditory focused, you might hear the phrase in your head. You might feel it as a contraction. Just note those thought bubbles and either watch them drift away if you're visual. Hear it just go further and further away, getting softer. Or feel that contraction just leaving your body. Breathing in and out through your heart, sending it gratitude. Connecting to your heartfelt wish for yourself. Identifying any of these negative, immediate, old hardwired narratives. It doesn't really matter where they came from. We could do some work around that, but they're there. They've been there for a long time. And they prevent us from breathing fully into life. So let's hear them. Let's call them out. Notice them. And let them float away. Note when you latch onto a bubble. Notice when you just step into it and you start going with it, riding it. But I have to prove my worth is only based on blank. Note when your mind gets distracted. Notice when you go down the road of, but why are these here anyway? Because you've been conditioned for them. End of story. Stops there. But I don't want to believe it, of course. So we need to notice when they're there, when those negative, old, hardwired patterns are there, so that we can release them and focus on our heartfelt wish. I invite you throughout the day to notice when these thought bubbles come up in your life. You might not even be aware of how often they prevent your life. They prevent you from breathing fully. And they're there. Note them. Thank them for showing up. And then releasing them. I invite you, if you feel so inclined, to take a moment and connect with the understanding that we are not alone in this process at all. And so can we connect with others that are feeling similar for different reasons, but similarly? And we end with wishing metta, loving kindness to all beings everywhere who are suffering. May we all be safe. May we all be healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. May we all live with peace. May we all go gently, knowing our goodness. Thank you for being here with me. You are all special.